Oh, you will?
Yeah.
You might answer the phone.
Okay, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes from the previous meeting? Additions, corrections? A motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
Moved by Larry.
Second.
Second by Justin, all in favor? All right. Set agenda. We need permission for clerk to pay insurance at time of billing, permission for clerk to pay utilities at time of billing, permission for clerk to pay utility incentives before the 25th of the month, permission for clerk to pay theater bills when due, permission for clerk to pay payment service network bills when due, and permission for clerk to pay city attorney bills when due. Moved by Gail, second by Dara, all in favor? Okay. No sheriff, unless Jen, do you want to? Oh, you good?
No thanks.
Okay.
Sure.
New business, Jessica, you're up.
So as you guys know, we were closed Fair Weekend. Fair Weekend, Mark came down and he did install that new e-delivery system. And at that same time, and this had been discussed prior, we did have a battery that was an internal battery within the server that needed to be replaced. And we had talked about it prior to this whole time coming down, and it was getting closer for it to be out of service anyways, that he had to check with Dolby to see if it was something that he could do and it would take and everything like that. He made contact with them. He said it was good to go. So he was going to do it while he was down here doing the e-delivery. In the process of doing the e-delivery, he did the battery for the server, and he said he ran the tests. He did everything, checked everything before he left. Everything was running. It was good. I came in Monday to put it together, the movie, and it gave me a code that said, can't download encrypted stuff. And I was like, oh crap. So I sent him a picture of what the message was. He called me and he says, that's not good. I need you to run me a report. So I ran the report for him, sent it to him because he thought maybe it was something we can fix right away. He got back in touch with me the following morning and said, hey, I had to send it on to Dolby. And he says, he got back to me about 5 o'clock Tuesday night, and he says, Dolby says that's not good, the server's completely shot. So, and the battery was supposed to be a 3-volt battery, and it was running at 2.2. So that's what happened on why we were closed last weekend, was because the server went down. Made contact with Robert on what he wanted to do, got a quote from Mark, and I have presented this to you guys. I sent it to Leanne and Jen, so you guys should have had a copy of it. I'm not exactly sure. Okay.
Is this going to all the digital format?
Yes, it's actually what keeps the server going. And from what he told me was that that's an obsolete server that we have now anyways. So we had to get a new server, which now goes to an external instead of an internal device. So that's why there's the laptop, because you have to have either a desktop or a laptop in order to run that. I'm not exactly sure until he comes down and we get together with it.
10 years old. And if they didn't get this replaced, then they'd be down for another 3
Yeah, but
weeks.
where, I guess I'm confused as to where the digital fits into this.
Well, because I don't want you guys to think that it was because of him coming in and doing the e-digital that this was the cause of the server going down. It had nothing to do with the e-digital update that we just did.
Yeah, separate problem.
Yeah, it was a separate problem. It was something that was going to have to be dealt with anyways. And he wanted to confirm with Dolby beforehand if it was something that could be done and properly installed, because it is internal in the projector itself.
Okay.
And it just so happened that when he came down to do the e-digital, he had it already ready to go. But this is more of a, I'm sorry, but we already ordered it and beg for forgiveness. But without it, we can't run a movie.
Right.
There's just no way. It wouldn't even let me download the key that night at all because it was an encrypted key for the movie. So there was nothing I could do about it. But I had it, I talked with Robert. Robert talked to Mark after I talked to him. I made phone calls to our our booking agent and told him what happened, and he was like, don't worry about it, we'll just push the movie back a week. We weren't charged for it last week. I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus, you know. So that's basically where we're at right now. And we're just waiting. I talked to Robert earlier today. He stated that he had talked to Mark and Mark was on his way down. I'm not exactly sure what time he's going to get here, if it may be tomorrow or not, but he was on his way down.
Do I hear a motion to approve the purchase of the,
So-
if the estimate total amount, because I see something that's optional on there. Is that the,
You know, I'm not exactly sure what that is. I have no idea. Mark told me that it was $6,700 for the server. Then he was going to do the laptop computer that goes with that because it is external, so we now have to use the computer system. But I'm not exactly sure what that movie doc is exactly.
Hey Jessica, does that include his travel time?
It doesn't.
Okay, so they'll just need to know that there'll be additional travel time and lodging,
Yes.
which is typical of his bills.
Of his bills. But he said he was going to do us a really good deal on this because he felt so horrible that this happened. But like I told him too, I says, you can't foresee the future on these things. Like he said, he ran it through Dolby. Dolby said it should be okay, it would work, and it just didn't.
so are we okay for auditors to approve this and then approve the additional expense, or do you?
I think if it was me, I would probably make a motion to approve the quote along with travel and lodging expense and any other expenses, or however you want to word that. Because those are just a given. Those are a given on his regular bills when he comes
Yeah.
to do maintenance. Because it should, depending on where you guys want to pay for it out of, it should all be covered. I mean, like if you decide to pay for it out of equipment expense, it should all, I believe the auditors would be okay with even that being paid out of the equipment expense. He just has no way to,
Because he doesn't know
Estimate
exactly
that.
how long it's going to
Yeah.
take him to do this.
yeah.
Where do we want to pay this out of?
We have, what'd you say, equipment?
Equipment.
Equipment, or what's the other one? The equipment.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you want to, I don't know what their budget
Probably about
looks
10
like
grand
for,
when you're done.
in the general fund.
What was that? Oh, I'm just,
Do I have a motion to approve the $7,297.40 plus travel and lodging for the new server to get paid out of equipment? So, Mr. Kale? Second by Mayor, all in favor? Yep.
Thank you, guys.
Yep, you're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, we have ordinance 649. Anything on that, Leanne?
No, 649 and 650, they are the EPOC and the stove ordinances that we do every year. They just get updated numbers and dates. I did send them to Laura and Laura did review them, said everything looked good to her.
Do I hear a motion to approve ordinance number 649 for
so,
the, moved by Kale,
Second.
second by Larry, roll call, Bud? Yes? Kale? Yes? Larry?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Justin?
Yes.
Okay. And what about motion for ordinance number 650 for the traffic ordinance? You want a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Moved by Larry,
second.
second by Kale. Roll call. Bud? Kale? Larry?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Justin?
Yes.
Okay. Building permits.
I didn't see him out there, Liz.
They came in late this afternoon. I
Okay.
do apologize.
Okay.
I know it.
They got about
Those are the originals. Need those real quick.
Does it? Any issues?
I don't think so. I mean, they're building a wall under the one fence, but that's just because he says he's catching a lot of the car wash water. It's getting in his garage and stuff. So there's just a little wall, and then set the fence on top of the wall.
Anybody have any issues with the building permits? Moved by Kale.
Second.
Second by Dara, all in favor? Resolution 2024-4, concert in the park. And that's just standard form, we just need a motion to approve. Moved by Kale. Second by Bud, all in favor? Oh, roll call, right?
Resolution.
Yes. Bud?
I'm sorry.
Roll call?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Kale?
Yes.
Larry? Dara?
Yes.
Justin? Alrighty. Alright, we have old business, the 2025 budget workbook. Did everybody look over the budget? Did we want to schedule another workshop or? And everything came back from the auditors. What's
Yes.
good with the auditors?
Yep.
Anybody have any?
Are we having another workshop?
I don't know, what are you guys' thoughts? You want another workshop? You want time to look at it and,
So let me see where the updated numbers are. The instructions here.
You gotta go to the
You gotta
right.
go to tab over.
Yeah. Which tab? Oh, there. That tab.
say, but do we want to have another budget workshop or,
I think you about need to.
okay, should we just schedule a workshop then? That'll give us time to look this over and,
Really?
okay? What, we have to have it done by,
We would need to have it done by I would say Fridays, because we gotta publish it for 2 weeks prior to the R&R hearing and budget hearing that we set for September 9th, right?
Probably.
Before this Friday?
Yes.
This Friday, yeah.
What's your thoughts?
I can do about any night except tomorrow night.
Wednesday?
When?
Wednesday work?
I'm sorry.
Wednesday?
Thursday?
No good with you? Wednesday?
Thursday? Does that work?
I probably couldn't do, well, no, I can't do Thursday. Do we need everybody?
We could, I guess, technically have it next week as well. We would just have to have it finalized so that we can publish it on the 29th and the 5th and hope that the newspaper doesn't screw up. Because we have to have it 2 weeks in the newspaper prior to our hearings.
I have found if you ask them to confirm receipt of the email, they're really good about getting back to you, and since I've been doing that, I haven't had anything missed.
What's next week look like for?
Monday again?
I have 2 meetings on Monday.
Tuesday?
What's the earliest?
I'll try to depend on you.
How early do you need?
By how long do we think it's going to take? An hour?
Or hopefully, if
I
that.
don't think it'd take an hour, would it?
I
Hour
don't
at the most,
think
I would
so.
think.
Okay. 6 at the latest.
Is the latest you could do?
Mm-hmm.
On Tuesday. Monday you're out, because
Yeah, I have 2 other meetings. I
I got a dumb
Foundation
idea.
and
What if we
theater
just
was
do it
moved.
tonight, after the regular meeting? Just knock it out tonight.
Just look everything over.
We can do that.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
If everybody's
can we have paper copies? I mean, too much.
Any
paper.
hard copies?
I'll go.
Sorry.
I'll
Okay,
Sheriff,
print those in a
could you-
minute. Yeah, I'll go print them in a minute.
okay,
I'll handle that in a second.
okay. Well, let's just table this, then we'll look
Yeah.
at it here in a little bit. Property cleanup,
No, everything.
anything? Okay. Projects pending, anybody?
Did you hear anything from Baxter?
I've not had a chance to reach out to him and visit with him, so I haven't heard about that.
Anything on that?
Well,
Anything on that sign? Or is that the same report?
on the LED sign. I did get an email on the LED sign. They took one down in Goodland that has all the stuff that we could probably use if we want to pay them $750 to cover Tom's labor and transportation. They think they can get that sign going again.
$750 total?
They said,
Is there anything?
How much time is that going to buy us?
of
A
course,
day?
yeah.
It's just taking stuff out of the old, out of their sign and
They
putting
got a
it
bunch
on.
of stuff out of the old sign. The modules all fit in here.
try.
Yeah.
We really need to keep it going. How much we do,
Everybody okay with that?
it's probably our only option, no matter what, right?
Until the other side, until the other side goes down.
We're
and-
not going to put new art or new stuff in it.
Yeah, it's by new.
New
New
sign.
sign.
We'll just have to figure out how you guys want to do it. If you're going to go smaller on one side, I brought it to the last meeting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody okay?
So I'm good, man.
What about, the planters and flagpole benches? Can we get rid of that old bench that's sitting out here?
Out here?
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay. Did we
We
get-
ain't got a new one yet, but it's regular.
Well, the old one's not doing us any good anyway, so I thought maybe we could just move that and dispose of it.
Okay.
When's crosswalks going in?
Well, if it rains all week next week, we're waiting on the paint.
Okay.
I think it was,
When's Fox on?
I don't know if we said something, I'll talk to you about it.
Anything else on projects from this? Anything on streets project?
I mean, B&H looked at town, we looked at some of the other streets and they think they can chip seal a lot of it and save for a while. I don't know how long. You know, we could save 90% of it.
Dan and I've talked about is trying to get some more rock in here, trying to get a little more of it done this year. You acted like they might be willing to come back.
Possibly. They might be able to schedule it in September depending on how the weather is. If we get the rock through.
How much needs to be? All the potholes, how much is that going to be done before it comes?
We can do it right as they're here if we have to.
Is there any streets that you correct seal before that? Is there going to do it too?
What? Well, that's something they only do the crack seal in the winter time. So we'll talk about that. I'm close to it. So I don't know if we're trying to push it real fast, too fast to try to get it done yet this year.
At least we
I
hear
want to
them
look at some
recommend.
streets
Yeah.
and see.
How much rock is left?
Maybe 150. I'm just guessing.
But they designated certain ones, maybe.
No, we have.
Oh.
We're just gonna have to look and see what we want. I think we need to get like River and Benton. Just two of them. I can think of it probably be done before. If we're gonna do them before winter. Otherwise, we'll try to get them scheduled early next year. We'll just try to do more if we have the funding. But that comes back like you just said. Do you want fog?
I think you do the expense. I think the fog seal helps keep it on tap.
He said it'd buy you some time, but he didn't know if it was necessarily a must do, so we kind of left it as our call. Touch your fog, that's gonna take more money there too, so.
Is there any ones that really, I guess, might benefit if we do? I know the ones that we just got done doing are pretty new. What about some of the ones that are older?
The fog,
Fog?
looks like we chip anything that's older, because we need to seal the cracks and stuff. I don't think fog would do us any good on any of the old stuff.
Well, I would love to have cracks up before we do anything. Really.
Well, yeah, the big ones.
Yeah.
Smaller cracks will fill anything.
I just think it's important to stay on top of this and keep our game plan.
I think
moving.
we got a
What did
nice
you say you
idea.
couldn't do?
plan,
What?
what
Which one said, did he say that?
we want to get
What
done.
we will do?
You know, like we did
He
with
knows
the,
that.
when we did apply
I
for
mean,
the
I think
grants
I'll
and
do-
stuff, you know, we said, okay, these are the streets we're gonna do.
Merge, it's all
This is what we're
over.
gonna do to them. So, and then that what helps us with our budget,
He thought we could.
to say, okay, we have this in there.
Cancel that out for the Coleman Children Fund.
I mean,
That's
yeah,
a
the
couple
price
places
might
like this.
change, but at least we
That's
kinda
how simple
know,
it is.
have a goal.
In the ballpark.
Yeah.
Didn't you say they did about 17 blocks?
We did, well, it's probably closer to 19 with as wide as Coleman Street is. Some of that.
And that was about 100 grand total with the rock and everything.
That was with rock and everything.
So if we game plan ahead and get something in writing like Jerry's talking about.
Is there a minimum we want to do, get done, to make it come out?
He didn't say that.
He just seemed to do a good job, and after Dan had talked to him and said something about buying us some time, I mean, there's a lot of these streets that need some serious attention, but if we could buy 4 or 5 years and game plan into the future a little bit better, I think we'd be money ahead.
What about Englewood? Englewood from Washington.
That's one probably needs patched up and sealed for now. I mean,
Yeah,
if we could buy
patch it and chip seal that.
2 years, I mean, you're talking $5,000 a block versus $45,000 a
Yeah.
block.
Yeah.
So,
So we try to get as much as we can,
Yeah.
unless they're too far along.
Was everybody thinking wait until next year then?
No, I think get something that is around.
If we can get those, like he said, Benton and River,
we could bend there, maybe angle, because the angle is pretty bad.
Yeah.
And every year it seems like it gets worse with freeze and thaw.
so basically we need to check to see if we can get some rock.
Yeah.
Here, and then,
And we've made a call, and the guy thinks we'll be able to get it, but once we know what we're doing for sure. I can get prices together by next meeting, hopefully.
sound good?
I'd like to see something happen yet this year. That's my take.
Yeah.
I just think it'll go a long ways towards helping people realize that we are trying to do something, get something accomplished.
It'd be great to get some, a few more blocks done before winter.
Yeah.
Is that First Street, is that too far down?
Actually, I looked at first today, and I know there's a couple blocks that probably need crack filled, but I don't think it's too far down.
Okay.
In fact, the water tower hill,
Yeah,
I took him there, and
yeah.
he said you got a good base, just patch it.
Maybe we need to do that, because that one gets a lot of water.
Is that the one that he was talking about having a double chip seal?
He said we could double chip it if we needed to, just see how it looks.
Okay. Without one, the one by your house.
That one I'm questioning. I've looked at it several times, just trying to decide. Part of me thinks, like you said, it's a lot less money than putting brand new in. If we put it down, it goes to crap, then we're out a little bit of money, but we tried.
But the rock's the key thing, number one, and then talking to your guy and seeing
Yeah,
his schedule.
it'll just depend on what the weather does toward the end of September.
A certain temperature or something?
Yeah. Yeah, if it gets cold or rainy or stuff like that, then we'll do
If
it.
we get rock, will it keep till next year?
Oh, yeah. We may have to work some off.
Let's get a ton of, let's get a lot of rock. We can.
Everything all right?
Just keep digging on it.
Okay.
Yep.
Alrighty. Visitors, Carol, Jackie, who's first? Carol, you're in first, weren't you?
I just wanted to thank you for doing the letter in support of our grant for replacing all of the windows that are needing to be replaced at the senior center. And I had given a draft and you greatly improved it, and thank you very much for that. So my understanding is that it has to be approved by the council in order for me to use this in a grant. Is that correct?
Normally, the council will approve giving a letter of support. Amanda already signed it, so you were good to go.
All
And I
right.
do apologize, I wasn't here when you called this afternoon, I was on my lunch break.
That's okay. That's all right.
I would have let you know then.
That's fine. I thank you for it. And you may have an opportunity to do another letter. Because after this, we are hoping that when all of the windows are completed by one contractor, basically at one time, that will leave the front of the building looking a little bit odd because the window sizes are going to change in some cases. And when that happens, then we will want to go ahead and do the siding. And for that, I'm planning to go to Hanson for a grant on that because that will, Hanson is concerned with maintaining nice old downtown buildings, and that is really a good solid building. It just needs a little bit of upkeep on it and put that siding on it, and it should be good to go for a long time then. Any questions on what we're doing at the senior center?
I think it's great.
Okay,
Yep.
well, we've got a cook, we have good food, we have some activities, and I have invited all of you before to come down and have a lunch with us, and that invitation is standing all the time, so come anytime. Just let me know ahead of time so that Miranda knows how many meals to fix. Anything else?
No, I don't think so. Thanks,
Thank
Carol.
you.
Thanks, Carol.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jackie.
I'll be with you.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, thank you for your time. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit and get some advice on an issue that came to light recently. Mom and I like to go up to Crave on Sunday for lunch and other times too. Getting into the restaurant is a real pain in the behind. The reason is because that gutter is all cracked and broken and full of trash and sand and rain and all kinds of stuff, and you have to navigate past the gutter in order to get up to the restaurant. It's a little difficult for a 102-year-old with a four-wheel walker and her 80-year-old daughter who's had 2 hip replacements. Now, Vicki did put a piece of sheet metal over one area where the driveway goes up there, which bypasses the curb, but it's about this big, and it's not always available because somebody parks in front of it. Now, this probably comes under misinformation, but I understand there are certain criteria for putting up handicap parking places on Main, Washington. And when I got to looking, I see one at the courthouse, which is county. The post office has one posted up on their building, which is handicap. There is one on the street in front of the senior center. There are 3 up on the building, up on the building of the senior center. Those are the only handicap parking I see up there. So I'm wondering if there's a way that we could go look at that gutter. It's the only block on this whole street that looks like that. All the other gutters are beautiful, clean, nice, smooth. They also have these nice concrete ramps to get up the sidewalk. There's none up there. Not on that side of the street. On the other side of the street, the gutter's all nice and smooth and clean, and and I know that's the only business on that side of the street. Don't know if that's an issue. The other 4 buildings are all residential. Anyway, I just thought maybe there's a way that we can work together to make this better so that we can patronize the only restaurant that usually serves on Sunday in this town. So I'd appreciate any input you have. Go look at the curb sometime. That really is the biggest issue, plus no handicap parking up there. And I don't know if there's a way that you can make it possible for them to put up a handicap sign someplace there, because we would like to patronize, local businesses like that. So that's all I have to say. Thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any comments?
Well, what did we find out before about handicap signs? Was there new ADA rules?
With the
I'm
handicap.
sure there is, yeah.
Something. Hold
We
on.
discussed it before,
We did discuss it before. Give me a second. I should still
and I
have.
think because of
I think because of the
all of the legalities that.
all of the legalities and the requirements and everything that was done, it was left to the businesses if they wanted to put up preferential parking but due to the enforcement.
Yeah, couldn't they put up their own sign?
Well, and the
Oh,
curb
so
and
why
gutter
not?
would be their responsibility anyways.
Yeah.
I don't know why they couldn't put just like a crosswalk, just like a standalone sign out there.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Would that be an issue?
Sign that says "Do not block this."
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it just say "Do not block
yeah.
this area." That would be a private sign. That wouldn't be an issue with that.
You're talking about the curb also east of the driveway, right?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
The curb east of the driveway?
Yes.
Well,
Is
the
it east of the
driveway,
The curb.
there's room there for two
Right.
vehicles, and if we can pull halfway up, Mom can get out
Yeah.
without, getting on the curb. But we can't pull up any further because then we'd be on the sidewalk.
Right.
And we have done that a couple of times, but again, it's not always available.
Isn't there also a double curb east of the driveway that you park in front? Isn't it like extra high? Or am I imagining things? Somewhere
I
there's
don't
that.
think it's a
And I don't know
double
where they have that drive that wouldn't be it. To bring that up with Crave, that they could.
Well, but you still have to get past the curb to get up to the driveway. If you get out of your car someplace else,
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and the curb and gutter is the homeowner's or the owner's responsibility in this situation.
we have
would
at
be
times
business, yeah.
tried to get up over the curb, but it requires me lifting her walker up,
Yeah.
helping her get up,
Yeah.
and then trying to run that walker through the grass or the weeds to get to the sidewalk.
Yeah.
So I just thought, maybe there's a way if we work together we can find a solution.
Yeah.
Part of the problem too, right where that's at, where she's got her metal deal to kind of lay over it, is because of the drainage that fills in with sand.
Yeah.
So it's got to be moved, cleaned,
Yep.
So that's an issue too.
And we're not the only ones. There are other people who I see struggling to get in there with walkers and canes and, other, assistive devices. So
Yeah.
anyway, think about it. I think together we can probably find a way to make it work.
All right. Well, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Pool report.
The only thing I've really got is that it looks like the balance of the month is going to strictly be weekends and private parties.
Okay.
They're still doing aquasars and laps, but it's frustrating when you can't get kids to work. We've had, I've had several complaints, and I'm going to bring this up at a pool meeting, is that the pool's not open on Mondays. It's been closed on days that it should have been open. One, I had at least 3 different phone calls on, was the day after fair on that Sunday, and part of it's a staffing issue. I mean, we've had problems with getting kids to work. But we're going to try to come up with some other ideas, and next time we have a pool board meeting and see if we can come up with other ideas. But it's frustrating when you start at the beginning of the year and, oh yeah, I want to work, I want the hours, and then first week of August and you're done.
I think the other thing too is you have that extra and you're making $15 an hour doing something else.
I agree with that. I understand that. Problem you get into with that is you can't do that with every single kid.
No, but I'm just saying you've had some from last year go to that.
Yeah.
Maybe signing a contract for 2 years since you do all the training. Maybe if you want to be in the pool, sign a 2-year contract. That way we put a lot of money into you.
I don't know, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
Trying to come up with good alternatives, and it's just like it shuts off a week of fair and you're done. I mean, we'd like to. The school's going to use the pool here another week or two. And, there's private parties have done really well, but it's just frustrating that you can't staff the pool. Granted, school seems to start a little bit earlier this year, but you can't, once you get past fair, kids going back to college and kids around town, you just can't get them to stick around. We've already got other plans. It's no different trying to get somebody to come work for the city. So, that's kind of where we're at. We just have to sit down and try to brainstorm some new ideas and stuff. And if anybody's got any bright ideas, let us know. Thank you for that.
And you might talk to them at next one to see if they have any ideas. I mean, you know, I don't know. I don't know.
Does the city qualify? Is that part of the city lifeguard?
It has to be, it can't just be as a lifeguard.
Yeah.
It has to be more of a managerial type position or something to that effect.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that might help you out for one, maybe two instances, but then you get 10, 12 other kids.
That's true.
And then you get into a wage issue with trying to compete with the city and other things. I mean, it's not like it was 10 years ago where kids wanted a pool.
I would caution about the contract if you're going to have something along those lines. Let me look at it first because that gets into the at-will employment issues. So before you have anybody sign it.
Well, it's seasonal too.
Right.
That's the other side of things.
What about an incentive for the ones that come back, I guess?
Yeah. It's not so much that, no, we've had kids that have come back. I understand where you're going with that. The problem is getting kids to work past the end of July. Whether they're college kids or something
There's
else.
camps and
Yeah.
family vacations and
Or you go into it and, oh yeah, I want 30, at least 30 hours a week. Then all of a sudden, well, I've got a camp here and a camp here, and then I've got sports activities and stuff. And we're aware of that, some of that. But then when you get kids that are like, well, I can't work on the weekend because we're going to go late. To me, it's priority.
Well, I mean, too, I think we rely on the kids, we're not like adults, 19, 25, 26.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out a way to go after some adults that could be certified would want that kind of a job, and look at it from that aspect of where, well, it's like kids can't work a whole lot through August. Well, fortunately, we still got Margaret Pulling around. She'd come in and help with a private party or something along those lines, which is helpful. But we've got to be able to find smarter people that are willing to kind of step into those kind of positions and do something like that. So that is one thing we're going to focus on, is trying to get more into the adult range and see if we can lock something down there.
Are you opening for like school functions too? Like classes like PE and stuff like that?
Yeah, is it the 5th grade? I don't remember which one she told me. One of the classes is coming down. It's either, when does school start?
15th.
So it'll be next week, I think. I think it's next week. Yeah, we're still trying to do that as much as we can. Well, it was a good year. Had a pretty good turnout. And, swim team stuff went well. And private parties have done very well. But I've had 2 or 3 what I consider very prominent people in the community that are pretty upset that we're not open 7 days a week. And that we can't keep it going longer. I mean, that's the tough part that we're fighting with right now. I know a lot of people push to, why aren't we open on Mondays? And why are we closed on a day when you probably can get one of your higher turnouts? And I know we've had problems with lack of kids at times. Which is frustrating when you go into a season with anywhere from 12 to 15 lifeguards, and it's like, there shouldn't be any reason we can't cover all this. But then I mean, it's been challenging. Last couple of years has been probably the most challenging since I've been on the board. But please, if anybody has any ideas, keep shooting them. Appreciate it.
I have a motion to accept the file approval report.
I move.
Second, Justin, second by Dara, all in favor? Superintendent report.
I know we decided a while back to do $5,000 worth of crack seal. I don't think we're gonna get that done until later in the year, but like B&H won't come out for that little amount, so we're gonna have to probably do 15 or 20.
Is the county doing anything with that? Are they doing to get them?
Crack seal?
Yeah.
Yeah, they used somebody else's. So it's just something to keep in mind. I know we already budgeted or motion for 5,000.
Since we're trying to do more streets.
But I don't think we'll be able to do that till it starts getting, they want to do that in the winter time.
Yeah.
So you're thinking like a bigger scope project to actually get them to come out?
I mean,
Will they come in like February or March?
I assume they just said winter time. They like it to be colder when they do that. The boiler, one of the boiler pumps at the power plant went out, so we had one to replace it. We got it replaced, but we need to buy a spare. It'll be $2,987.
Motion to buy the spare.
Yep.
Moved by Cale.
Second.
Second by Larry, all in favor?
Terrence Lamb got hold of me today. He's taking the sidewalk off the west side of that place he's working on over here. It's on Van Shell. He wants to know if he has to replace the sidewalk. And if he does, he wants to know if he can move it closer to the curb.
Sure, we're
Are you talking just north of the park?
The corner.
On the corner?
It's the sidewalk that goes down the side. I did not understand our ordinance real well. That's why I'm asking for clarification from you guys.
Warren, do you have info on that?
I will consult the ordinances, I don't know at the top of
Because
my
I
head.
thought you had to. I thought if there wasn't sidewalk, you had to put it back, correct? Am I thinking?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think it might. I don't remember it.
I think.
I don't have it off the top of my head, I'm
Okay.
looking up the ordinance.
Well, we can go. Why don't we come
I
back?
can go
Yeah,
home
we can come
for-
back to this.
The tap park, we rekeyed the locks there. The city paid the bill. I don't know if we want to do that or if we want tap to pay it. It's up to you guys.
Fine.
It's $140, I think.
That's fine.
Okay. And other than that, I will probably need 5 minutes executive session for application review.
And rekeying that, will that keep the doors? They said we had a tap meeting just earlier and they were saying that the doors were flying open.
The front and the back door will be closed. Them two little side doors, I doubt we keep them.
Okay. I didn't know for sure which door they were talking about today. Just said there was.
It may have been them side doors there. I noticed they're open
Some.
every once in a while when you go by. They just go in little closet areas. But the front and back door, yeah, because they put a bunch of stuff in
Yeah,
there.
they put some stuff in there. They said.
That's all I have. So, like I said, 5 minutes executive session.
Does anybody have any questions for Dan?
We get the loader up there yet?
It's still up there.
Did we get it up there?
Yep.
I know. I thought about that when it started raining last night. It's like, there's that poem again. I need to just pin him down. Have him meet me next next time it dries up and we can get it pulled out of there.
Have to load it up, haul it now.
Probably, but it'd be nice just to get it out of the water hole to start with.
Mm-hmm.
And the sweeper's kind of working when it wants to, so I may have to load it up on them or have it home. I think Sellers works on it. I may have to have it hauled down there and work on.
Where's that at?
Garden City. Where's it called? I don't remember. I know the air conditioner quit on it. And the bearings are out of the air conditioning pump, which Anderson might be able to do much of that stuff for us too. So we'll talk to him. See if we can get down through him.
Did we find somebody to take those trees out? A couple on Main and wherever else?
We haven't got together yet on that.
No, and we talked to trees on Main.
Well, some couple of them on Main we may have to take out because there's some power in them.
What about trimming them? You find somebody to trim them?
That's what we need to do, yeah.
We
We just talked about putting them out for
I mean,
bid.
at least get it off the building. Some
Which
of them
one?
pretty-
Which one am I?
Well, we just trimmed the thrift store one. Get it off the building. So.
I just noticed on parade, I've seen someone kind of pretty shaggy.
Anything else to think? I guess we need to accept and file the superintendent report and come back. Moved by Justin, second by Kale, all in favor. Leanne, you got clerk report?
So I gave you guys all a business card from Reed Petty. He came by the office, basically doing the same thing as Abby did for Senator Marshall's office. Wanted to know if the council had any urgent matters, things that you guys were interested in.
Yeah. Think of one.
Yeah.
Really big one.
So I just gave you guys all of his business cards because he wanted you guys to have a copy of them. So reach out to him if you can think of anything that you would like to share.
Maybe we'll need some letter to.
Why don't we compose a letter and we'll sign it and send it off?
I also got an email from the Kansas Housing. They wanted us to fill this out. It basically gives them a letter of support from us. There are other items out there that they gave, which was Harvest America Corporation, things for the low-income housing, such as for the, what is it called?
Manor. Manor. Cheyenne Manor.
Yes, thank you, Cheyenne Manor. Total blank on that one. So it just gave a quick review of what they do. Didn't know if you guys wanted to give this, sign it, fill it out. So I was bringing it to you guys first. Did I not put it out there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay, Amanda's looking at me like she didn't see it, so I'm like, oh crud.
Anybody have any questions on that?
And the last thing is I have online classes that I have to do before the classes in Wichita. So I will be doing those here in the office. Just wanted to let you guys know.
Okay.
And that's all I have.
Any questions for Leanne? Not is there a motion to accept and file the clerk report?
So
Moved by Kale,
Second.
second by Dara. All in favor? Okay. Lauren,
The ordinance says that hereafter all sidewalks shall be of single course construction and shall be constructed and laid in accordance with the standard plans and specifications hereby adopted by reference and filed in the office of the city clerk provided by KSA 12-1802. It shall be unlawful for any person, firm, or corporation to construct, reconstruct, or repair any sidewalk except as provided by this article. So it has to be in accordance with the plans. So without seeing those plans, I don't know that it can be moved. And even once those plans have been viewed, I don't know that it could be moved.
I guess we'll,
You said why you want to move it?
Well, it's broke up, so he's already taken it out, but it was all busted up. He doesn't really want to put it back at all. That's all I'm saying.
should he have to?
He said he will if he has to. That's why I'm asking.
He has to pay for it, or he's forced to pay to put something in. If the sidewalk is the homeowner's responsibility, right?
well, pretty better is to,
But do you have to have walking access to?
Right.
yeah. I guess let's find the plan first and see what it looks like before we.
The plan is currently doing, or the plan, what plan is?
The city plan.
City plan.
There's a plan that's filed in the city office. And it provides for the grades and the slopes and the this and the that and the layout, and it's filed here. And I don't even know how old.
I'm sure we never looked
I'm
at
sure
it
it's
before.
expired.
But that's
But I feel like there's, I mean, as far as taking out sidewalks, putting them back. I
Didn't
mean, I
they
feel
just
like that's been a
replace
thing.
sidewalks by Jenkins Ice Rink? Didn't he kind of customize that a little bit?
They didn't put the sidewalk back.
Right,
But he moved it.
He moved it.
He moved it.
So I guess you do move it. Yeah.
He's
He wants
paying
to buy
for
the
it.
curb, I think. He wants the curb. I mean, the park's by the curb.
Yeah. True.
Is curb and gutter up there, right there?
I didn't.
It should be, because we just did that strip by there.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So, because we had to take trees out there.
But is he gonna do it all the way around?
He's just doing down the whole side.
So you're gonna go this way and then come back this way?
Hmm?
So you gotta go down this way and then come back like.
If I just,
Just out in
Come
front?
down.
Well, he's got the sidewalk that goes down front, and then he's got one that goes this way that's in bad shape. He goes north.
Where the trees were.
He's taking the north one out. Or one to take it out. The one who's wanting to take it out. Well, he has to take it out.
That's not main access anyway. I wouldn't think.
I mean, there's houses that don't have sidewalks.
But all those do.
Plenty of them. They do, right?
I know that.
I don't know. Probably something that needs to be reviewed.
I think almost, if there's existing sidewalk, I'd say you have to have sidewalk put back, but I don't know exactly. If there's a curb, be easier.
Unless it, I mean, where he took the sidewalk out, you hate to just say, no, you know. But if he wants to move it, you know, where you have that 3-foot strip and then the sidewalk, he wants to move it out to the curb, I don't know why that would be. He's putting the sidewalk back, he's just moving it to where there's not that weird strip, I don't know if that would be an issue.
would it connect to the adjoining sidewalk on the property?
It's an alley, right? That property busts up to the alley, doesn't it? Going
Right, but it connects to
To the
the
one up
south of
the
it.
front.
There's, yeah, and then he'll have a sidewalk on his side.
And he's not doing the one out front, so the front would adjoin to the.
Neighbor, so it's
So
just
it
the
would,
one
so
to
he
the,
would probably just, yeah.
just the one to the alley.
But I don't, which way spots on it.
I would say just do that.
Yeah, if he puts it back, he can, I mean, have him put it back, then he can move it to the curb.
Is that legit? Is that what?
Don't you have, I mean, I think isn't there an ordinance, you have to have access on your property to walk?
That's what I don't know
We should
about.
probably
going
find out.
top. I mean,
Yeah, I just don't know if we have to have.
I mean, if you actually had a mailman go to your door, you have to have access.
Right, but he would have access to the front, and he has access to the
That's
little
what I
sidewalk
say.
comes out the back of his house, and goes
So
straight
it's
out.
connected, like I said, the alley right there. It's still going to connect to the sidewalk.
Yeah, as long as if you put a sidewalk back in.
Maybe, I don't know, I just think having a curb and gutter sidewalk is a lot easier to replace than my curb and then my sidewalk.
And then what do you do? Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you gonna look at the?
So
Yeah, we can look at it, we can wait and see, but
If he is gonna do it outside of the plan, he would need a permit. Which, I
if you
mean,
need a permit anyways, for the quantities.
right, but I mean, I believe it would need to be not just the standard building permit, it would need to be a permit authorized by,
But we didn't do that for, like you said, Jenkins.
We didn't want a building permit.
Mhm.
Yeah. That would be fine.
When Gabe did his sidewalk, he didn't have to do that either, did he?
We just replaced those.
Yeah. But he didn't have to.
Well, we can.
Makes
I guess we can look at the plan and see. I mean,
Yeah.
he don't want to put sidewalk back if he don't have to.
Right.
If he has to.
He didn't want to put it at all.
So that's why I think. I'm not for sure on that.
We're gonna have to look and see
Yeah.
what's down that side.
That's what, if he wants to move it out to the curb, I don't think that's an issue we can improve. Obviously with the building permit. Yeah, if we build it, or it's good. Allow the others to move them out to the curb.
No, enough you'd have to move, turn it out the alley then. Because then it goes over to Kelly Hills and it's his back here.
I wouldn't think so, because they don't plan out.
Just go to the alley.
Just go to the alley. Well, we'll look at the plan and go from there. Do you have an attorney report?
we had a court case in June. That is the only citation I've seen since last October.
What was it about?
A dog, 2 dogs.
Just you have to.
It's always dogs.
Yeah.
I think I see one coming up. I think we issued one today.
The dog?
No,
Oh.
shoplifting.
We might not, we probably won't see that. That probably will go to district. They tend to do the criminal activity which is enforceable under the statutes in district court because it's a more severe penalty than it going through municipal court. So they tend to do ordinance enforcement through municipal court and law enforcement through district court.
I know he was going out to write.
I have not seen any ordinance enforcement other than that one dog case.
Speaking of ordinance, where are we at on
I think I'm going to have something I think I'm going to have the comprehensive in September, so I'm going to try and get it to you guys by the first meeting in September so we can discuss it at the second meeting in September because it's going to be, I don't know how much you want to read it, but it is a lengthy read, but it should be available at the beginning of September.
Okay. Nobody have anything else for you? If not, do I hear a motion to accept the following attorney report? So moved by Dara, second by Justin, all in favor? Okay. Let's see, accountants hold comments, Bud?
I had somebody talk to me about the culvert down by the power plant filling with sand. Asked me, can we done anything about it? I said I'd mention it.
On Angle Street, remember? We got one call in today to dig down there. We got one call in today to dig down there. we're working on.
I just said I'd mention, bring it up. I got asked about the weeping willow that's out in the middle of the street. Up down the block here, that weeping willow that hangs way out the street. And right now it's actually blocking the intersection.
On Spencer?
I believe so.
Spencer and Scott.
Spencer.
I got somebody that mentioned something about that because they can't see around the corner. That's dangerous.
Yeah, there was I actually saw something headed that way where there was two people slamming on their brakes because they couldn't see each other coming. I don't think.
You can't see it. It's down. This has been brought up in years past. And they trim it up and it looks okay. But right now it's clear down. That's a good.
So if we do that, we're going to have a lot more trees.
There's been people that have been asked to trim up trees on different intersections because of that.
What was the intersection? Scott and
Spencer.
Spencer?
And there's others on like Emerson Street from the dentist's office going west. Those are pretty low.
Oh, yeah.
I think something needs to be done there
Oh,
before
yeah, for
somebody
sure.
gets hurt at that corner. And then I talked to Chris at CCDC and get with you, Dan, about the roadside park and the banner.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can get together, the two of us go up there, see if we can get it straightened out.
Okay.
If you've got time, we can get that done.
The banner?
It's behind
a
the
map
glass,
of- yeah.
so they have to take
It's
the whole
falling
glass
down
off
again.
to the banners.
And look at the lighting up there.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay, Kale,
I don't believe so. Nothing.
Larry,
I don't.
Dara?
Was the weeds at the tap park sprayed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Oh, somebody just mentioned they were up there pulling, so. I
Good
don't
luck
know.
getting them killed. Anything.
Huh?
It's going to be hard to get anything killed.
I know, they're huge. It's-
Rain comes in and then had that drought there for a while, so.
yeah.
Justin, you have anything?
Not this time.
Okay. Dan, your executive session before we do bills on ordinance. Are you sticking around for the budget stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we want to go ahead and review the bills on ordinance 1089. Anybody have any questions on those?
You, Lauren, thank you.
Bye-bye. Any questions?
Not yet.
Motion to approve bills on ordinance 1089.
Move.
Moved by Justin. Second by Bud. All in favor? Alright. We need 5 minutes of executive session for non-elected personnel for application review. Do you want everybody in here?
Let's just give counsel.
Just council?
Yeah, and
Okay.
mayor.
Thanks. Do I hear a motion?
Move.
Moved by Justin, second by Larry, all in favor. Resume at 8:15, okay. Darn it. I'm gonna get out of here.
Yeah, I figured you'd try to get out of here.
Okay, we're out of executive session, no decisions were made. Guess we'll go ahead and review the budget.
Yes, please.
Sorry, I didn't know you were done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Did you save one for yourself, Tim? Dan, did you get, yeah? Okay. Did you get extra?
Yeah, I printed 10. So there's probably an extra one.
Oh, one for you and one for me.
I counted Lauren, so she
Okay.
stayed.
Alright, so. You wanna go to- And did you want to go over the numbers and explain what?
Looking for it to pop up on Saturdays. Because all of the notes don't print.
I think I got all the notes to print except from the transfer page, and it shrunk it down so bad I did not print the notes from the transfer page. But everything else they got should have the notes on it. And I can go print the transfer page notes if you want me to, but it made it really small.
So if you go first to the combined budget and hearing rate tab. Which page? Should be page 14. So this is what we would need to publish. Okay, for the 2 weeks. It shows that the revenue neutral rate given by the county is the 31.341. Our proposed is 31.888. That is the 3% that the council has requested. The reason why I was taking a moment was I was pulling it up so that I could have my notes. Our R&R notice that we gave to the county clerk by the time that we had to, which was the 19th, well, it was due on the 20th, was a 33.138, which was about 8.7% increase. With this amount, I know that Danielle's numbers were slightly under the 3% money-wise. The current workbook that you guys have are over the dollar amount by, I want to say it's like $900. Hers was lower, mine was higher. But this was the happy medium that me and Danielle came up with. We went back and forth through everything. I asked questions to her, made sure that we were able to do certain things due to budget authority with adding transfers when we didn't have them originally in the 2024 budget. She stated that as long as we have the budget authority to spend the money, we could transfer the money and just do it that way instead of making it a cash forward or anything like that. And that is shown, should be on.
And she should have also said budget authority and the cash to
Correct.
spend. Yeah.
So that actually made changes to the schedule of transfers with adding additional transfers. Like in the refuse utility fund, we originally only budgeted for $80,000, 40 to the capital improvement and 40 to the equipment reserve due to the amount of funds that are in that, plus the fact that we haven't spent that much due to differences of cost. Like, we kept the budget high so that we could keep the budget authority to spend, just in case. We have an additional 20,000 that has been put to transfer into the general fund.
An additional 20?
Yes. That was, so basically on the refuse line item for general fund, that 20,000 for the current amount for 2024, that was not in our original 2024 budget. I asked her if we needed to amend. She said no, because we have the budget authority to spend it, which means that we can transfer it. Because that also happened on one of the other funds. That there was an excess.
Well, we're looking at 2025.
Right. But, so the 2024 transfers, they transfer at the end of the year. So basically, those transfers are what you get to use next year in 2025. 2025's transfers are what you get to use in 2026. So there was a whole thing about that. So if you get to open it on your laptop, I created a sidebar of showing the funds for the transfers of here's 2024, here's the amount that's going to be transferred, how it goes into for 2025, and then how 2025s would go in for 2026, so that I could visualize and give you guys a visual for Dan in the Street project, repainting the pool, Ward Electric, things like that. So like all of those wish lists are shown there. I did only do 150,000, not 200,000 for the streets. Dan's list said between 150 to 200, so I got the 150. We can change if you guys want.
I think that's what we need to look at to make sure if we're looking at the street work we're looking at doing possibly next year, that we have the budget for it, and then if we are looking at wages, we want to make sure that we have that.
But then you're doing it as a transfer, right?
Yeah, these are only
transfers.
transfers.
Get it till
26.
26.
Oh, transfers. Gotcha.
Yes.
And that is if you don't spend the money beforehand, because if you spend the money, you don't transfer it.
Right.
You can budget for streets.
Yeah, I was gonna
But
say we
it's
can
in the
budget.
general fund.
Yeah.
And I think that that's where you have to be careful, because then that's the mill levy thing.
Yes. And that is why we have a bunch in the capital infrastructure
improvement
fund.
Yeah, so that's where it gets a little confusing, and so I need to make sure I'm on track with you, Leanne. So when you're talking about these transfers, you changed 2025 transfers versus the original budget you presented. You changed the transfers to increase transfers like into general fund, and that's how you reduced the mill?
Yes.
Okay, so, okay. I just wanted to make sure, because you talked about amending the budget. But did you guys talk about transferring more in 2024 to get cash?
Yes.
Okay.
To reduce the cash carry forward on it. But because we have the spend authority, we were able to transfer instead of just leaving it in to carry it forward into the same fund.
Right. Okay. Okay. I think that was just a little confusing, because so that's I think is that the only, and so Leanne and I are pretty new at this, so I'm going to guess in the past you haven't budgeted a huge amount for streets for the like we're talking about 2025, because it is general fund, and so then that increases the mill levy. Has that usually been the thinking on that, or just
from prior years Excel sheets that I've seen, the most that's ever been in the street fund is 20 grand for potholes and small items like that. There's never been any huge amount of we're gonna fix this street, here's
But you're
But we
saying
need
that
some-
all comes out of general?
Streets is in the general fund. And so I think that's where, like, at the last meeting, when I said it would be good to have another budget workshop to talk about this, it's because just me sitting on the outside listening, it sounds like you guys really want to get going on the streets. And you know, we've got capital improvement. Leanne and I got, after the last meeting, I worked on, you guys may not have noted, well, I did ask her, because we thought we had 114 left, but I knew we had, so we have a bank account. We actually have a checking account that's specific for our bond funds. And so I knew we had more money in there than that. So the next day, I worked on it, we got it squared away. You guys actually did a resolution after the first street project with bonds, because there was excess money. And then at the beginning of the 2023 series, the bill came. Remember, that kind of came on quick. That project came on quick. And so we were going to get a bill. We didn't have enough money. We didn't have enough cash to pay that bill, that first bill we were going to get. So you guys had motioned to pay like 12.9 of it out of capital improvement. The initial bill, I think, was it to Miller and Associates, right? That bill that we paid 12.9 out of capital improvement, and then paid the rest out of the. Well, I think it was Miller and Associates. We can look, but so now there's about 180,000 to use as soon as you get the stuff back from the bond attorneys. What I will say is, it sounds like this time he's wanting to do an ordinance. Last time he did a resolution. Maybe it's just a technicality. So we got that all squared away. So there's 182 and some change or something like that. And then you have special highway that you can use for street repairs. And then of course the big thing is the bond, or the infrastructure improvement fund, where we take the money that we've collected in sales tax, and then every year you've been transferring the excess into that.
That's kind of what we need to know, is how much we're going to ear tag, kind of, to say, okay.
Where's the, just so I'm clear, where's the 200 coming out for Ward Electric?
That is capital improvement.
That's capital improvements?
Correct.
Okay.
And that's basically been a transfer every year, right?
Yes.
I mean, I think when you guys first started talking about it, it became
Yeah, it's been a few years.
a transfer. So,
Because that's when we saved the money from signing up with the, or getting out of that other contract when
JR renegotiated that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was going to save us $200,000 a year. So we
So
said, okay, that's going to go to the
$200,000.
infrastructure every year.
Yeah.
and for 2025 street work, you guys may be good if you can pinpoint what you guys want to do in 2025. You may be good with the money that Leanne and I've talked about, the infrastructure infrastructure improvement fund that comes from the sales tax. I don't know the last time that we spent any money out of the special highway. It's been I'm going to say at least not in 2023 or so far in 2024. I do not believe.
So can you tell us what's in special highway and what's in the infrastructure?
Do you have it uploaded tonight in your financials? And if you guys want paper copies, I can go print.
Yeah, I'm
print
just
paper
kind of looking
copies. I have no
ballpark
problem.
because
I'll take a copy.
So currently in the infrastructure improvement fund, there is $540,556.32. In the special highway fund, there is $146,046.60, and your capital improvement fund has $653,626.82.
The infrastructure improvement.
capital.
Capital improvement. So you have to remember 200,000
200
of
will
that
come out.
is
Yeah.
for board. And then if you guys have any other expenses that would happen to come
out of the capital. But I don't know, that's just, I mean, it's banker in me, you know, when we set up cash flows and stuff for people, you know, they've ear tagged kind of what they think they're going to spend on putting this crop in, and kind of ear tag X amount to.
Right, and that is why on the spreadsheet, I ear tagged how much, and that's only for the transfers that are shown. It is not with the funds that we currently have in those accounts, in the fund, basically.
So
Those
maybe,
are just earmarked. This is all not earmarked yet.
Okay.
maybe I'm not totally understanding this. Out of those funds that you just mentioned, how much of that money do we actually have budget authority to use next year?
As long as you have the cash, you can, those are non-budgeted funds.
So we could use anything out of that.
You can. I don't know that you'd want to spend everything out of capital.
I get that. I get that.
Huge
And
comes
I
down.
don't know that you'd want to completely deplete your infrastructure.
I get that too.
improvement.
I guess the
And
reason
with
I'm
those-
asking.
But we have the 182 from the street projects left over, so we're basically looking at an easy 200,000 that we can earmark right off the top. That would go.
To answer your question, Larry, Special Highway is on page 9. We have budget authority for 2025 to spend up to $188,441.
Up to 188,000.
Yes,
Just out of that.
just out of that
Yeah.
one fund.
That special highway.
And that just carries over the cash, right?
Yeah,
Because that's just literally a cash fund.
yeah, and
Those
right
are
now
distributions.
we only have 2,000 for this year showing to be used. That does not affect that number that I just gave you, and that is what you guys had stated to go to Scott this year for the grading over at the industrial park streets.
Yep.
That's out of special highway.
That's the only thing that we have ever.
What do we have
that I've ever
budgeted
seen.
just for streets? Did we have that for next year?
That has salaries and stuff in it too, doesn't it?
Do like 7A or B.
So it is 7B. We have nothing in capital outlays. Everything for the street improvement, the 20,000 would be part of the commodities on the page.
And of that,
Or we have 74,000, don't we?
that's
800?
not all for repairs, right? What did you do
No,
a line
but-
item just for those construction
Commodities.
repairs? In your
On the
spreadsheet?
streets.
That breaks it down. So then they all add back to the commodities? What, the 25-ish? 25? For the line item for construction and repairs?
I'm going to find it right now.
And then where would we see the 200,000 we're committing to board?
It was done in a transfer at the end of,
So we're committing there. So basically, I'm looking to do the same thing for streets. We
good?
put a commitment for at least 200 or
And that's
300.
what I've done in the transfers of
Yeah.
putting on in that sidebar. If you guys see it on the Excel sheet, it's off to the side. It's not part of the printable. It shows you that there's 150 in there to transfer out for next year for 2026. I did put it so that there are funds from this year's transfers that will go there. And you would see 150 for 2025 to be utilized, 150 in 2026 also to be utilized, as well as the pool painting and board. They are still on
They're
there
all
as
in there.
well. Just to come out of the one fund. I tried.
We didn't do anything back for Matt Hensley, did we? For clearing lines?
And what about
that one is not streets, that is
Ew.
electrical.
But we did put some.
The
Yes, we did.
state does do the project next year.
But we didn't.
I mean,
do
I-
it as
if.
a transfer. It was just part of.
Budgeted in.
And we
Yeah, it
said
was
maybe we have to come in
It was like
and
25,000,
add more to
I
it.
I think, yeah.
Would we
That's
have
what
to,
we put in there.
would we have to, yeah. And,
You mean we'd have to have the authority for it?
Well, it'd have to come out of that. That number would be earmarked, or that we're talking about earmarking.
yeah, that's what I didn't know, if, you know, if they were saying like a cost share program type thing, but I don't know how long that takes to even,
Right.
You'd
Apply
probably be
for?
next year into. probably
right,
six.
and then
Yeah.
they're ready, all of a sudden they're gonna be ready.
Yeah.
I thought if we agreed upon
Right.
Just because
Right.
Yeah.
it.
sign over.
But I'm just saying, is it gonna, all of a sudden they
Yeah.
come in and say, okay, we're ready to.
You mean the state hurry up a project? Come on.
I know, how many
Yeah.
years has it been, 10?
This is crazy.
Yeah.
So basically, what I want to know is if we need to spend $300,000 next year on streets, can we do it?
We should, because we have the 182
We have the
left over
180.
from the streets.
Plus, we
Yeah.
have our other funds we could use if we
Our
had to do it.
infrastructure, yeah.
Now, the 182, did you guys commit to doing some of the intersections out of that?
We did. Well, we did, but then we were going to wait to spend all of the money to get it all in one ordinance. So we did, but we didn't finalize.
Gotcha.
So we can obviously
Change it.
change.
And do you know where you guys are at on that? Like getting the ordinance and are you?
We're just waiting to figure out where we're going to do the work.
need more
He has
work.
to have the specifics of where we're doing the work. So we wanted to make sure where we're going to spend every dime, so we only have to pay them one time.
That makes sense because
So,
they'll have
yeah.
yeah, there'll be some other fees too.
So we're just gonna, yeah, that's what we're waiting on, is to make sure we can spend it all.
And that was estimated at what?
119, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's
That's what I was trying to remember, how much.
114.
For the
Yeah.
intersections.
Yeah.
And will that come
Well,
out of
that's-
our 3? I mean, then we know, or is that on top of the 3? If we budget?
It's the
I mean,
leftover
That would be part
funds.
of, yeah, the leftover fund would be part of that. I mean, it wouldn't have to be, but I mean, we're looking at. if that's
I'm just
what-
asking, to know how much, then we
Yeah.
can say, okay, now for Joe sealing these roads, or.
I
Yeah.
understand what there's.
Yeah.
No, there's 188 in special highway, there's 182 for the leftover bonds, and then I also have 150 for transfers that can be utilized towards streets. So you combine two of those, you get your 300, you still have 150.
Can those just be in the line
160
items
actually.
of what we're doing, so you know, you look at the damn thing and see what's there? I mean,
I think
every time we have a meeting, we gotta go, well, what was that?
What was that? Oh yeah, we said we were gonna do that, or yeah.
Plus you wanna have some,
we
if
have
something comes
in-
up that we,
And there could, yeah, like I said, there can be some critical thing that we have to do, but.
yeah, that's what
Power
we
plant
wanna,
stuff.
Mhm.
Things
or
come up.
streets, I
But
mean.
based on what I'm hearing, if we were looking at 200 for Ward, and I agree with Carol, 300 at least for streets, we've still got plenty of room.
Mhm.
They're just short of 600 in the infrastructure improvement.
Yeah, which we don't
And
want.
I think that's short, that's rock, did we buy the rock out of there?
Everything's already out. These
That's what I
are,
mean though, I think it's already, that's what come out of.
It
Yeah.
Because we
came
were
out-
at
it came out of
600,000.
infrastructure. I think part of the thing about the infrastructure too is, that's what we went to bat for, to try to get that extra money in here. We need to be spending it.
Right.
Yeah.
Are we still, all we're talking about streets, but are we still gonna put some back aside to get some more of our electrical done?
We've
200,
already set,
Oh, yeah, we've already-
set
200.
Yeah.
200 aside.
a year.
200 every year.
Yeah. And then we probably need to look at our water situation too in the next few years. Right?
When's your lead thing?
Quick.
Yeah.
I think Justin said they're probably gonna have to start getting pretty hard in September.
The other thing, if we're looking at restructuring some wages, we want to make sure that we have that cushion in our budget, and I don't know where we're at. I don't know what's the budget here. Dan, do you know what's kind of figured?
Oh.
Well, as far as salaries, wages.
Didn't we include 3 positions
We
on the
included
budget?
4.
4?
But as far as raises, increases, I mean,
Right.
We only did up to a 10% in those calculations.
When you're talking about restructuring, are you talking about more than just possible raises? Are you talking about restructuring the entire salary, like the pay scale?
starting, yeah.
So that's gonna be a little different ballgame depending on, yeah, I mean, if you're not talking about the up to a 10% increase at the usual time, if you're talking about a complete restructure, and you think it's gonna be more than 10%, but here's the thing, if you do a complete restructure, that's a restructure. There shouldn't be a restructure and then a raise in a year, obviously,
Yeah.
No.
because
No,
of what
that's
you guys are
right.
doing, so
Do the
if you don't
restructure
think
in
it's gonna be,
26.
huh?
Or do the restructure in 26 and then you just raise next year maybe for
Well,
temporary,
but
you know.
do you think, are you expecting the restructure to be more than 10%? Or do you even have any idea?
We haven't really, we just know starting,
Mhm.
starting wages, we obviously need to be competitive, and in
Mhm.
that case, then we also need to get those that have been here.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Well, we've also got money set or budget authority on 3
people.
3 or 4 more people. 3 out in the city and
Yeah,
One
one.
one in the office. I just can't see where that'd be an issue.
I don't see it.
Well,
either.
That's what I'm thinking.
What's that?
That's kind of what I'm wondering, is if with the 10% and then, I mean,
That's
the
pretty
chances
good
of you,
cushion.
if the chances of you getting 3 people hired right away
Yeah.
Very
are
slim.
slim to none, I'm afraid.
Is there a commission?
So, any other questions?
I think we're good.
Jen, Leanne, you guys think we're good?
Everybody in agreement that 200, I mean, we'd be okay with 200 on ward and at least 300 on streets?
Let's start it, let's see
Yeah.
where it goes.
Yeah.
Well, part of why I'm thinking about this is because we just did 100 grand. I did like 17 blocks. We can do a lot with 300 grand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
But
not
I think
talking
we still
huge.
need a plan.
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
And it may not follow exactly through, but at least so we kind of have
I think.
say, oh yeah, okay, we can check that one off.
Chip
Oh,
sealing.
that one's not going to work.
5
Or,
years, correct? 5-7.
Yeah, if it holds, yeah, it should be.
So just go down every street, and you pick out so many streets, 5-7 here, and every 5 you go along there.
Can we get a large printout, black and white, of the city streets and put it on the wall?
Just label all the ones that you do,
Yeah, I
and then
can.
the ones where you want to do next.
Can we get that?
Yeah.
Yeah, the county can print that. Right?
Yeah.
County can.
Will we have to pay some money to do that? I mean, will it cost to get a big printout?
A few bucks,
Huh?
right? Can't cost that much, right?
Yes, they can.
Can we get
I mean, we could just, if I
Yeah.
knew the amount, I could cut a check.
4 or 5 copies? That way we can narrow down chip
Plan A,
seal,
plan-
concrete, asphalt,
Asphalt.
whatever,
Yeah.
Intersections.
yeah,
intersections.
Basically, you want it framed and you want to
I want it framed.
Dry erase
and
board,
laminated.
yeah, with layers so we can,
I want the entire thing
There we
written in
go.
calligraphy.
We have it right over
I
there.
tried.
Yeah.
Those are hard.
Just get a
Well,
bigger-
I don't know. Is that what you printed? Did you print that?
Mhm.
Did that come from? was it the
It's
plant
been
here?
plant, yeah.
Can you guys still print those?
No.
No, you don't have that printer anymore.
Yeah. We can print one, it'll be fun. We'll get it.
Okay, that'd be great.
and then have a street party.
Yeah,
There you go. There you go.
free beer.
You heard it.
What's in our budget for the beer budget?
Anybody?
Down the streets.
One other quick question. If we're looking at the 300 and the 200, what does that leave us the capability of doing if we so decide this year to do another 100 grand?
Well, what do you,
Do we have
in
that
capital
or not?
improvement? What do we have?
Yeah, we should
What
have
did you
that.
say we had in capital improvement right today?
650.
So that's just capital
Three.
improvement, but you can split infrastructure improvement.
The only reason I'm asking is so we don't bunch ourselves. But if it would work out and we could get part of that done this year
Yeah.
and then escalate next year.
So, yeah,
Yeah, we should.
you have 540,000 in infrastructure improvement, and then in capital improvement, you have the 653.
Okay.
So you can, 200 of that is for ward, the rest you can
Yeah.
utilize. So
Okay.
if you want to utilize 100 of that this year to do more streets, you guys can,
You know, so-
and it will not affect any of the projection. As
That's
long
what I
as it's
wanted
those
to hear.
two, just not special highway.
The only thing that you have to be mindful of, and I highly doubt it would ever happen, but when we plan on these transfers, if we have the cash and the budget left, so just keep in mind that we can't always bank on that, because if we'd ever have a natural disaster.
Sure.
So that's why I was saying earlier, if you ever got to the point where you wanted to start budgeting for streets, you could. It's just, it's gonna be in the mill levy.
Yeah.
Which if we have a natural disaster, nobody's gonna care about driving through a
No.
pothole.
No.
No, so that's the
Feds
only
come in
thing to
anyway.
be mindful of on transfers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, after this year.
But I also think people need to see where this money's headed.
But,
I think
yeah,
so.
we'll just need to sit down and decide what we're gonna do chip seal and if we're gonna focus it, and then I gotta find
Yeah.
out how much focus
If we
it
had
is.
those fancy maps, we could really get this figured out.
On it.
Just have to figure out how many streets we have.
So are we good for me to send this to?
I think everybody good
I
with
think
the,
so. I think we're good.
Like I know, a good one will be
yeah, I
so much
think
streets.
so. All right, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Let me start.
Moved by Kale,
Nobody
second
wants
by
to
Larry.
leave the call.